Babylon, 1750 BCE. The merchants stood before the judge, fighting over debt. The judge listened as both made their cases. People whispered justice in Babylon was known to be quick and fair. The next day, ruling was given. The rich merchant walked out smiling. The case was in his favor. The poor man left quietly, his head down, muttering only one thing: justice has been sold. What no one saw, what happened the night before. When the court was empty and the torches burned low, a small pouch of silver slid across the judge's table. This is one of the earliest examples of corruption, what we call now bribery. So, what is corruption? Why does it happen? In what form it appears from ancient courts to today's politics? Why is it so hard to remove, even with strict laws and watchdogs? And why again what can actually society do through reforms, education, and people's movement to fight it? All this in today's short documentary. Stay till the end. You might hear things most people never even think about. Corruption, in its simple terms, is dishonesty or abuse of power by someone in trusted position done for personal benefit. But just knowing what corruption is isn't enough. The real question is, why does it happen? The answer isn't just greed. It goes deeper. It grows out of system, pressures, and cultures that allow it to survive. Corruption doesn't appear out of nowhere. It happens because of a mix of economic, social, political, and institutional factors that create the right conditions for people to misuse the power. Take, for example, a government worker who earns very little, low pay, and financial stress can push officials to ask for briberies. Not always to get rich, but sometimes to just cover the basic needs. Then comes the system itself. Weak governance, poor institutions, and bad law enforcement make corruption less risky. If accountability is missing and punishment is rare, the signal is clear. You can get away with it. Corruption also grows in secrecy. When government decisions aren't open or transparent, when everything happens behind closed doors, the abuse of power often goes unnoticed. Sometimes the problem isn't just secrecy, but complexity. Endless red tape and confusing rules frustrate ordinary people. In such cases, paying bribery feels like the fastest way to get things done. Culture plays a role too. In some societies, tradition like gift giving, favoritism, or helping family member into job are seen as normal. But these practices can slowly blur into corruption. And then there is politics. When leaders interfere in administration or when instability weakens institution, corruption quickly fills the cracks left behind. Now you might think, okay, Soham, I know what corruption is and why it happens. So I will be able to spot it. But no, corruption is like a chameleon. It changes colors and shows up in many forms. One of the most common is bribery, giving money, gifts, or favors to someone in power to push a decision in your favor. Another is embezzlement, when money meant for public or organization quietly disappears into private hands. Then there is nepotism or cryonism, jobs, contracts, or benefits given not because someone deserved them, but because family ties or friendship. It's favoritism dressed up as opportunity. And there are many more forms you might not even imagine. Now you might say, okay, so I might get it. But corruption doesn't really affect me. In fact, in urgent cases, it can even be helpful. Yes, it can seem useful in short term, but in the long term, it can be very damaging for the whole country. Corruption and organized crime often go together. Criminal groups use corruption to gain power, protection, and profit. They bribe or pressure public officials, which make it easier to run illegal businesses like drug trade, human trafficking, and arms smuggling. They also hide their illegal money through corrupt banks, fake companies, and public contracts. This way, dirty money looks clean. Sometimes criminals even use violence, knowing corrupt official will look the other way. This creates unsafe areas where law fails, organized crime grows stronger. Countries with high corruption in parts of Latin America, East Europe, Africa, and conflict zones often show illegal businesses get pulled in, as criminals use corruption to launder money or win contracts unfairly. But the damage goes far beyond crime. Economically, corruption bends markets, wastes money, and scares away investors. Growth slows, public services like schools, hospitals, and roads suffer, and projects end up costing more than they usually should. Globally, trillions of dollars lost every year to corruption, money that could have changed millions of lives. Socially, corruption breaks trust. People lose faith in government and institutions. Inequality grows because poor are the first to lose their access to health, education, and justice when funds are stolen. And corruption even harms environment. Bribes and poor oversight allow illegal loggings, mining, and pollution to continue. Conservation fails, climate action stalls, and planet pays the price. Corruption doesn't stay still. It grows. It grows fastest in the system where it's easy to take advantage. One big reason is too much paperwork and complicated rules. When processes are long and confusing, official can ask for briberies to speed things up or remove obstacles. Lack of openness make it worse. If government decisions happen in secret and there's little oversight, corrupt acts often go unnoticed and unpunished. Corruption also thrives where few people have too much control. When official holds monopoly power and can make decisions without checks, it's easier for them to misuse authority. Politics adds another layer. When leaders interfere with agencies to protect their people or reward their supporters, corruption becomes part of system itself. Money plays a role too. Low pay, financial stress can push some public workers to take briberies. Sometimes just to survive, other times to enjoy benefits that they otherwise couldn't. In some places, corruption is even socially acceptable. If people believe everyone does it or see it is the only way to get things done, the cycle spreads quickly. Wait, did I just say too much paperwork and complicated rules help corruption grow? Yes. But then comes the bigger question, why does corruption still continue even when strong laws exist? Well, there are many reasons corruption keeps going. One big reason is weak enforcement. Laws don't mean much if they aren't applied fairly. Often small offenders get punished while powerful people escape because of their connections. Another reason is uneven priorities. Some parts of government try to fight corruption while others protect certain groups, which weakens the overall effort. Poor oversight make it worse. If people can't get clear information about corruption cases, or if watchdog agencies are weak, crime happens without much fear of being caught. Social habit also matter. In places where corruption feels normal, people may keep doing it even if they know it's wrong, simply because everyone does it. And finally, there's fear. Many people don't report corruption because they're scared of revenge, don't feel protected, or believe speaking up won't change anything. By now, you may have noticed I've even talked about links between powerful people and corruption. But here's something I don't get. Why do powerful people engage in corruption? They know they could be get caught. So why take the risk? One reason is that power makes people feel special. Studies show that those in high position often set strict rules for others but bend them for themselves. If they start to feel above the consequences everyone else faces. Power also gives control over the system. High ranking officials can influence investigations, dodge accountability, and lower the risk of getting exposed. Even where laws are strong, weak enforcement lets corruption continue. Powerful people can use loopholes, pressure judges, and control investigations to escape punishment. For many elites, the reward is just simply bigger than the risk. Money, influence, and favors can be a huge compared to small chances of facing real punishment. Corruption can also become part of culture in elite circles. In close networks or old boys clubs, members protect one another, making collusions easy. And finally, lack of accountability. When oversight is weak and whistleblowers aren't protected, abuse of power carries on unchecked. Now you might ask, Soham, why does it sound so hard to fight corruption? The truth is, fighting corruption isn't easy. Many challenges make it difficult for agencies and government to act effectively. One big problem is vested interests. People who benefit from corruption, like powerful politician or senior official, often block reforms, making real changes difficult. Weak institutions are another obstacle. Anti-corruption agencies, courts, and law enforcement may not have enough independence, resources, or trained staff. Without proper tools, they struggle to investigate and punish corruption. Culture and society also plays a role. In some places, corruption is seen as the easiest ways to get things done, especially where system is slow and complicated. People continue corrupt practices when they think they won't be get caught or when low pay and poverty makes bribes tempting. Complex network add another challenge. Corrupt groups often work across borders and quickly adapt to new laws, finding loopholes to keep their scheme going. Another problem is lack of independence of anti-corruption bodies. Political interference is common. Leaders of these agencies are often chosen or removed by politicians, making them weak. Frequent leadership changes also show shifting political poverty priorities. Finally, public and political will is key. Without strong support from citizens or government that are fully committed, agencies remain weak. International oversight and public pressure can help, but without steady demand for accountability, corruption continues. But wait, what about protests like the one going in Nepal? When do these movements happen? And can they really stop corruption? Anti-corruption protests usually happen when people reach at breaking point. A big scandal is often the trigger. When public sees a high-profile case, especially involving powerful politicians, it becomes a symbol of government failure. This scandal unite people from different groups and bring them to the streets. Protests also rise when people feel corruption is everywhere, especially at the top. If citizens see it causing daily struggles or unfairness, anger builds. Economic power make this worse. When corruption scandals come during times of unemployment, poor service or financial crisis, frustration quickly turns into protests. Freedom matters too. Protests are easier when people can speak and gather without fear. In very repressive countries, it's harder. Through social media, now help people to organize, spread information, and mobilize faster. Famous examples include Brazil's Lava Jato protest and South Korea's movement against President Park Geun-hye where millions of people marched after major scandals. But these protests don't always last. Political will often fades. Campaign starts strong but powerful group block reforms. Lack of result also weakens them. If people don't see trials, recovered money, or real change, hope fades and skepticism grows. Change takes time, and that leads to fatigue. Reforming culture and behavior is slow, and both citizen and agency can lose energy. Finally, if the public isn't kept engaged through media, civil groups, and ongoing pressure, movements stall and corruption returns. So, is there any way to reduce corruption? Fighting corruption takes more than just laws and protests. It needs smart system and active involvement. Whistleblower protection is one of the important tools. When people can report corruption safely without fear, misconduct is more likely to be exposed and punished. Collective action matters too. When government, business, and civil society works together, it creates a culture of honesty and accountability that discourages corruption. Merit-based hiring and rewards also help. If jobs, promotion, and pay are based on skill and performance, not just connection or family ties, opportunities for nepotism and briberies shrink. Take Denmark as an example. It is often ranked as one of the least corrupted societies in the world. How do they do it? They have strong laws, transparent government, and public sector jobs are fully merit based, no favoritism allowed, which keep corruption very low. But there is one more thing we can do which is beneficial than this, which is schools. Schools play a big role building a culture of honesty and integrity from a young age. By teaching core values, students can learn about honesty, fairness, responsibility, respect, and justice. This helps them develop strong personal ethics and know right and wrong. School also play a role by raising awareness. When students understand what causes corruption and how it harms society, and their own future, they are more likely to act responsibly. Integrity education works best when it's part of different subjects. Lessons about honesty can appear in social studies, history, literature, and civics, showing students that honesty matters in everyday life. Teachers are important too. Training teachers and encouraging them to model ethical behavior makes the lesson more effective. Families and communication also help reinforce these values, making honesty and shared expectations. Some countries like Hungary and Argentina have added anti corruption lessons to school programs successfully. They mix classroom teaching with activities and public campaigns. Participatory methods like form, theater let students act out corruption scenarios, helping them to see consequences and practices solving problems. That's it. Now you know more about corruption than most people. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. You can write anything, your thoughts about on video, a topic or suggestion, or just show you watch till the end. Use EOTV end of the video as the secret code to let me know that you stay till end of this video. I've also shared my research links in Google Docs file. It's mostly I use Perplexity. Some parts I didn't include in this video that are in my blog. So if you are interested, check out the link in the description. I'll be back with another topic soon. Until then, stay sharp.